Coach Holiday, Zach Earhart, and Brian Holiday here. Josh, you want to start with something or just questions?
Now, welcome. It's good to see you here. Looking forward to a great regional.
You said whenever the last time we talked to you, you didn't know a ton about Niagara yet. What have you learned about them in the last couple of days?
Well, obviously they've won 38 games, so they're competitive bunch of ball players. They've got some good arms on the mound, and they're coming off of winning a tournament, which any team that wins a tournament feels a sense of momentum and confidence about how they're playing. So we know they'll be a good opponent, and a guy going against us, big left-hander with a good arm. So exactly what I thought it would be. A group of guys that kind of trailblazing for their program right now, and they've had some success, and it'll be a tough ball game in game one.
I think you're the only program coach to host a regional 3 years in a row now. Just since being at home, and I know you haven't gotten out of a regional the last 2 years, so maybe the third time's a charm, but just since being at home and getting to host, how special is that?
Well, being in this facility and playing at home in front of our fans is always something we cherish, and we've worked hard and had a successful season and a body of work that earned this. So these opportunities to play at home and host regionals are earned. They're earned on the field of play by the players, and they're earned over the course of a 14-week season and a conference tournament. So it's a great compliment to the young men that have played on these teams the last 3 years.
Pitching's always interesting come postseason. You plan on keeping the status quo, or what's your
Yeah, we'll see how all the kids feel today at the end of business and where they're all at physically, and let Coach Walton finish watching a little bit of film, and then we'll make a decision on how we're going to line them up.
Zach, coming off the run to win the Big 12 tournament title, Coach alluded to Niagara doing that, but for you guys, what's the confidence? What's the momentum you can carry over into this regional?
I mean, I'd say we're feeling really good. I mean, we played really good baseball. I mean, I think we're playing the best we've ever played all year long, and this is the right time to do it. I think winning that tournament gives us, again, another sense of momentum and helps us kind of keep building towards this tournament, and it's going to give us the confidence we need to go out and play our best.
Offensively, what do you like most about y'all's at-bats right now?
I just think we're all doing our part. I mean, it's not a one-man show on this team. We're all having quality at-bats, doing our jobs, and if it's taking a walk, we take a walk, we pass to the next guy, and we trust the guy behind us to do their job as well.
Brian, how cool has all this been for you, this being your first go-around?
It's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, you kind of just got to center your mind back at what the goal is. And the goal is to obviously go in there and beat whatever kind of obstacles in our way.
Coach, from your experience, just when you get into a regional like this and when you get into postseason play, if you can point to 2 or 3 things that really swing a regional, what would that be in your opinion?
Well, gosh, I think the biggest thing is to continue to play good baseball one pitch at a time. Any regional that I've ever been a part of over all these years, there's different stories and different environments and different ways in which the tournaments have played out. We've been in just about a little bit of everything, quite honestly, over the years. I think the biggest thing for us this is the regional we're in, and past experiences really don't do really anything in terms of the now. This is our ball club. This is our special group of kids with individuals on it that know who they are, and they're playing very well inside of their game. And I think the biggest message or experience that you've taken from the past is just continue to stay true to who you are. Be your best right now by just simply being who you are, and you really can't change anything. I've been on teams that were, pitched and played defense and played the close game as a specialty year-round. I've been on teams that slugged it out. I've been on teams that did a bit of both. I mean, I don't think anything about how you've played to this point is as important as staying true to who you are as a team once you've gotten here. And these kids have done an awesome job of that. Sam, Brian, Carson, our bullpen, our defense behind them, and as Zach mentioned, 1 through 9 in the batting order. We've had contributions and great team effort in all areas of the game, and that's just who we are. So just continue to stay focused on the pitch-to-pitch mentality that we've been talking about from day one, and fight like crazy, which is something we've talked about since day one. And if we didn't believe in those principles, we wouldn't have introduced them as our core values when we started this thing.
It's May in Oklahoma. The weather seems to be kind of up in the air. Do you think what you guys went through the past couple of weeks will kind of benefit you going into any delays that you could run into this weekend?
I've just tried to come to peace with the fact that's one of the elements you just can't do much to control. So that being said, we're going to show up and be ready to go whenever it's time. And in the minutes that we're waiting, learn how to pass the time peacefully rather than passing it with anxiety and worrying about something you really can't do much about. Just pace yourself and stay ready. Then when they say go, you usually get a 30, 40-minute window to kind of know it's coming, and then you amp yourself up for competitive mode, and then you learn how to stay in, I think, pace yourself mode until that point. That's really all you can do, and we've certainly had some experience with it.
How do you like your guys to pass the time peacefully? What do you like them to do during those
Oh,
times?
I try to let them have that space. I've grown to really trust this group of kids. They've earned my trust because I've watched them, and they've proven to me day after day they're committed, and they're into the right stuff, and they care about each other, and they care deeply about how they perform. So when it's their time, I let them have it. And then when it becomes our time, then we all dial it up together.
Zach, you've been through this a couple of times already, the regionals, but what do you take away from your past experiences going into another one?
It's just to stay true to who we are, not try and do too much, not try to treat it like any different game. I mean, we just got to treat this like every other game. We go at it with all that we have and try not to put too much pressure on ourselves. I mean, this is just another game for us. We need to keep treating it like that and just keep playing our game, and that's all it is.
Feel like this team's better equipped to make a run of the ones you played on?
I think this team's great. I mean, it's hard to compare teams in the past, but I think this team is ready, and I think we've got what it takes to win this thing.
For Brian and Zach, just kind of had to overcome. I think you fell out of the rankings early on, and in the back end, and then obviously Big 12 tournament, we just saw another bounce back. You lose and you come back and win it. Just guys sense to bounce back and not let anything get to you. How big does that in postseason play?
You want me to go?
You can go.
I'd say it's a really important. I mean, early on, yeah, we had our struggles, but every team is going to struggle in the season at one point or another. We have it every year. Every team has it every year. But the important thing is, like you said, we bounce back, and that's what's important. We believe in ourselves. We believe in each other. We trust each other, and we have that confidence to where we're not going to let one game or one little streak of bad luck or bad games define us. I mean, we trust our team, and we go out and we get all that we have, and we know that we're talented. We know that we're good, and we know that we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much like what he said. We don't really count on just like one thing. We don't just count on our pitching. We don't count on just like our offense or like our defense or anything. It's like everyone goes out there. We know everyone's got trust in everybody. So when you have a lot of trust in like your teammates and what's behind you and the kind of offense we have and everything, and guys that are like in the bullpen, you go out there with a lot of confidence.
Brian, you had a long season and a successful one. You made the seamless transition from JUCO to D1. It didn't seem like it bothered you at all moving up another level. And plus, how does your arm feel after a long regular season?
It's at its best right now. I mean, this is where you need to be at your best, and I think that's kind of where not only myself, but I think that's where everyone's at. That's what we've been working for the whole entire year. From our coaching staff and trainers and everything, they've prepared our bodies and put us in a good position to where once we get to this point at the end of the year that we're feeling our best.
Josh, how about the entire field? I mean, you know, you're focusing on Niagara, and I know that's the way you work, but you see the other teams, Nebraska and Florida, coming in. What do you think about the field overall?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nebraska's season speaks loudly. Front runners in the Big Ten most of the year, tournament champions, obviously start to finish, played very well, and I know their coaching staff, and I'm familiar with some of their players, so good ball club for sure. Florida, talented bunch of athletes, powerful kids. I know their head coach fairly well. Another team that I think would probably tell you that it looks like anyway that there's some youth on that roster, but talented youth to go along with some older guys that can really play. So you don't get to this point unless you've done something substantial. When you look at the debate or discussion about who was given birth into the NCAA tournament, and you heard quite a bit of feedback about this or that, and when you're one of the teams that does get picked, there's clearly something you've done substantial, and I would certainly say that's the case in Florida and the type of schedule they played. And so we knew there'd be good ball clubs coming in 2, 3, and 4. Again, that's why it's regional play. And but to your point, it's a one-game regional, and it's one game at a time is essentially what it becomes, and that's the best way to play it. You just try to get yourself in the right frame of mind to go win that particular game, and then you slide over to the next side and say, okay, who's today's challenge, and just enjoy the challenge. It's a lot of preparation for the coaches. The players, I think it's great that they can just stay in their performance mode. For coaches, you have to have a readiness plan for all three teams at all times, because the turnaround between and how you're matched up is quick. But I think it's a very good field, and like I said, I don't think anybody gets to this point in the season unless they've done something substantial. They've laid something down over 16, 15 weeks.
Anything else?
Thank you.